1,300 officers short, and it's not just Philadelphia. Nationwide retirements and resignations are up, and hiring is down.
Retention is not something that makes the news often. And when I say retention, I mean cops that can do years beyond their 20 years of service are just not doing it because they're afraid of job security. They're afraid of state legislators. They're afraid of local governments.
Police departments around the nation now taking extraordinary measures to attract new officers. Los Angeles offering $10,000 bonuses and a huge housing allowance. Seattle and New Orleans, $30,000 bonuses. Portland, $24,000. Despite the big bucks, still finding it hard to find people who want this for a job. David?
Jeff Locke, thank you very much for that. Joining me now is Fraternal Order of Police National VP Joe Gamaldi. It's just doing everything wrong. In the middle of a frightening increase in crime in Chicago and elsewhere in Illinois, this law gives dangerous criminals all kinds of new freedoms, severely restricts the already diminished power of the cops there. Democrat Governor Pritzker signed the bill. It was written by a Democrat legislator. What the heck are they thinking?
Well, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I mean, have they not seen what's happened with bail reform and the revolving door criminal justice system? It's ruining our country right now. I mean, who in their right mind would still push these policies when we're seeing murder rates that we haven't seen since the 1990s? In Illinois alone, murders are up 47% in the last 10 years. And you want to talk about police officers wanting to take the job there, applications are down 70% in Illinois. In Chicago alone, the idiocy of this is staggering. You have crime and disorder everywhere. You don't have enough police officers. You can't hire more. And you want to make it easier for the criminals? I mean, this just goes to show you that those elected officials, they don't give a damn about the people in their communities. It's ideology over everything.
And they, you know, they check every box. We've got just a short list of what's in this. By the way, it's a 764-page bill. It was approved in only 7 hours with no formal hearings. There were no formal debates, no representatives from the police or law enforcement, but it ends cash bail. It limits how defendants are considered flight risks. There's no charge if the defendant is under electronic monitoring, leaves home for up to 48 hours. And this one I love. We don't have it on the list, but trespassing is going to be downgraded from a Class A misdemeanor to a Class B. So police won't be able to physically remove somebody who decides that they're your house.
It's completely insane, David. And it just goes to show you that they're literally telling victims, we don't care about you. We care more about criminals. I mean, the world has gone completely upside down. Imagine someone were to come into your house and you call the police and then you find out that person's out before the paperwork's done. Or you have people that are getting arrested over and over again. In New York alone, 43 people made up 1,400 arrests in less than a year. These are the types of things we see when you do just idiotic things like promote legislation like this. We have to get things under control. And I'll tell people, you're heading to the ballot box right now for the midterms. You need to vote for people that want law and order. Otherwise, we're going to continue to see more crap like this.
Well, by the way, I mentioned it's a Democratic governor and legislature that voted for this and signed it into law. But, you know, there's a group out there called the Third Way. It's a Democratic think tank. They came out with this thing called the Red State Murder Project for Trump in the last election that have the worst crime rates. But what they don't tell you is that cities in those states, for example, Missouri voted for Trump, but two of the most dangerous U.S. cities are in Missouri, St. Louis and Kansas City. St. Louis has the highest murder rate in the nation, 65 murders per 100,000. Louisiana also voted for Trump, but they have Democratic cities like Baton Rouge and New Orleans, which are very dangerous. Tennessee, a Trump state. Memphis has a terrible murder rate. That's a Democratic-run city. Alabama, Democratic-run. Birmingham. It goes on. It's the policies in these Democratic cities that are causing this huge uptick in crime.
You know, I do have to give them credit, because the level of gaslighting and BS with this study is remarkable. I mean, they're actually trying to convince the American people that Republicans are to blame for this massive. Look at it. The top 15 cities that are leading this country in murders, accounting for 4,000 murders, are all locally controlled by Democrats and local DAs that are Democrats. I mean, it just goes to show you they're who to blame for all of these issues, and they need to be held accountable and they need to be voted out.
Well, the people that need to be praised are the cops that are doing the defending, because in this environment, to be a cop, just signing on the dotted line, signing your employment form is an act of heroism. Please pass on my thanks to all the police that you represent. Joe Gamaldi.